I spent the last 8 months carefully coding the best indicator I possibly could, spending months after months optimizing the performance to the best it could possibly be, backtest after backtest, and I'd like to say, I think my work has finally paid off. Now, you guys know I deal with a lot of indicators. I've curated my own personal private strategy that I haven't shared on this channel ever before and engineered it into one single indicator, adding features to it that no other premium indicator has. When I said I wanted to make the best indicator out there, I meant it.
My God!
Real-time buy and sell signals giving you the best entries for longs or shorts. Optimized take profit points so you get out of the trade at perfect spots. Automatic support and resistances so you don't have to waste time drawing them. A trend table that will give you useful metrics and let you know how the market is trending with just a glance. Fair value gap signals where the bot will automatically tell you if there's a fair value gap on the chart in real time. Customizable settings to where you can change the sensitivity based on if you're a more aggressive or passive trader. Other popular indicators already pre-installed into one indicator so you don't need TradingView Premium to have 3 or more indicators on your chart. And all of these features are just the tip of the iceberg.
Alright, that sounds awesome.
I'm going to show you how to use this indicator correctly, the best optimal settings for it, how to avoid false signals, and how to use it to the best of its ability. Well, enough talk. Let's see how it works in a real trade example. So for this first example, we only have custom bar coloring and baseline enabled in the settings. So our chart is pretty simple right now, but I really just want to show you what a simple trade looks like first, and then we can get into all the advanced settings after. The chart we are looking at is AMD on the 3-hour time frame. From all the backtests we did, the 3-hour time frame seemed to provide the best results. This indicator works on all time frames and all markets that have sufficient volume, including stocks, forex, crypto, futures, etc. But just know from our backtest results, the 3-hour time frames seem to perform the best. Now, first off, you have 4 different entry types: strong buy, sell, strong sell. A strong buy has a greater chance of being a successful trade than a normal buy. Same thing goes with the sell signals. So just keep that in mind when using the indicator. So look how beautiful this indicator works. So here we have a strong buy. So we enter the trade. We wait a little bit and then we see the first take profit mark. The cool thing about this indicator is it'll give you a take profit mark based on your trading sensitivity from the sensitivity you put in the settings. This is also where you can start putting your own twist on the indicator depending on your risk tolerance. So if you wanted to be on the safer side, you would sell 75% of your position at the first take profit mark. If you wanted to be a little on the riskier side, you would only sell 25% here and let the other portion ride. It really depends on the style of trader you are and what you're comfortable with, but just make sure you sell a certain percentage here for guaranteed profits. So we sell some of our position here and let the other half ride. The chart continues to go up and we end up getting another take profit mark. This is where you would close the rest of your position. And look what ends up happening after. The market starts to consolidate. So the indicator got us out right at the perfect point, right before the market starts consolidating. And we ended up making some pretty good profits, as this was a 7% gain. After that trade, we look for another. We wait a little and end up getting another buy signal. Now, like I said earlier, strong buys perform better than regular buys, but the regular buys can still give some really good entries. So we enter the trade. The market goes up, we get our first take profit, we sell a percentage of our trade here and let the rest ride. The market starts losing a bit of its momentum and then we get our final take profit mark, getting the absolute top of this move as well. So that's 2 successful trades so far. Let's see what happens next. The market starts heading downwards now, and we end up getting our first sell signal, which is a signal to go short. So we enter our first short trade. We then see what the market does next. It looks like the indicator was right because the market starts heading downwards. We get our first take profit mark, so we sell a percentage of our position here and let the rest ride. The market continues to head downwards and we get our final take profit mark and sell the rest of our position. So this indicator does work with both long and short trades, and you can disable or enable them in the settings in case you prefer one over the other.
This is amazing.
As you can see, this indicator is working beautifully so far, and we are 3 for 3. These are just the basic entries and exits. Oh, just wait till I show you how to actually optimize this indicator. I'm gonna speed through these last couple trades as I think you guys are starting to get the hang of it. We get a buy signal, take profit mark, sell a percentage, market goes up, get our final take profit mark, sell the position, market consolidates for a few. We get a sell signal, take profit mark, sell a percentage of the position, wait, get a second take profit mark, sell the rest of our position. Now, if you just look at this chart, look how beautifully the indicator bought and sold the bottoms and tops. I'm so proud. You did good, son. You did good. Now, sadly, the indicator isn't always going to give us perfect entries and exits like this. Sometimes it'll give you a false entry signal in a consolidating market and it'll end up being a losing trade. But luckily for you, I'm about to show you ways you can know it's a false signal before it even happens.
Introducing the trend table.
The trend table provides useful metrics so you can easily see how the market is performing with just a glance. It'll tell you the trend strength, momentum, volatility, volume, EMA close, and the stock's float, which are all very key areas you should be looking at before entering a trade. You can turn this option on in the settings of the indicator called Show Key Metrics. So going back to the false entry signal example, here the indicator gives us a buy signal. But if we look at the trend table, nearly all the metrics are bearish, which could be a good indication this is not a good buy signal. So we would disregard this signal. And look what happens. We were actually in a consolidating market and the price starts moving sideways, giving us what would have been a losing trade. So we really dodged a bullet there. In order to get a high probability setup for a long, you want most of these metrics to be bullish. And obviously for short trades, you want most of the metrics to be bearish. If a lot of the metrics are the opposite of the entry signal, it's a pretty good indication the market is consolidating. You can even confirm trades with their custom baseline feature. If you don't see it on your chart, go to the settings and check this baseline feature. You would only enter a trade if you get a buy signal and the baseline is green. If you get a buy signal and the baseline is red or gray, you would not enter that trade. I've even got some messages from viewers that said they just entered trades depending on purely the color of the baseline, without using any buy or sell signals, and they said it actually worked pretty well. Even though I wouldn't recommend this, just know you could always do that too. The next tip I have to optimize this indicator's performance is using the automatic support and resistances. Now I do have to say, these things are really cool. What the indicator will do is show you the closest support and the closest resistance to the current price. This is so you don't get something like this, where you have 10,000 different lines of support and resistances on your chart, making it super cluttered. The red line is the resistance, the green line is the support. The indicator will automatically adjust the support and resistances in real time, which is pretty damn cool. So how I like to use them is by using them as potential take profit points. As an example, we know this red line is a point in the chart where price is likely to hesitate. So we should sell a percentage of our position at this resistance if price ever hits it. That way, if price can't break the resistance and rejects, we still made some money. So here's an example. We get a buy entry signal, we enter, and as you can see, price starts heading towards our resistance. Then it hits. Even though we did not get a take profit signal, we are still gonna close a percentage of our position here as we know this is a key resistance level. So we do just that. Price actually does exactly as we expected and bounces off the resistance, and then later the indicator tells us to exit the trade. Where this originally would have been a losing trade, we actually made money from this and made it a winning trade. It's definitely important to use these automatic support and resistances to really make sure you're getting the most out of the indicator. If you really want to optimize the indicator and go the extra mile, you can manually plot support and resistances on the daily time frame by seeing really key turning points in the market. These will be very strong resistances and you can use these levels as take profit points as well. You can also do the same type of thing with pivot points, which we actually pre-built in the indicator with many others. Now these are daily pivot points, which means price usually respects them pretty heavily. So they can also be great support and resistances and potential take profit points. Here's an example. We get a buy signal, price heads upwards and starts slowing down at the pivot point. Even though we didn't get a take profit point, it might be a good idea to close your position here, as we know the pivot point will have a lot of resistance, which if you did, you turn what would have been a losing trade into a winning one. You can also use them as supports and put your stop losses below them. So if you entered a trade and price ends up breaking the pivot point, it might be a good idea to exit the trade, even though you didn't get an exit signal, as price breaking a daily pivot point is usually a pretty bearish signal. These are just some simple ways of how you can increase the win rate and profitability of the indicator. The last feature I really want to talk about is probably the coolest feature of the indicator, and that is the fair value gap. If you don't know what the fair value gap is, to put it quick and simply, it's basically when price spikes up or down super fast to where buyers or sellers don't have enough time to counteract the movement. So there's basically an imbalance in the market, and price price will usually retrace back to this point, and then after that, head back to where it was before, giving us a great trade opportunity. How you would mark an imbalance is taking the candle before the move and the candle after the move, and this is the area where the imbalance is. We have an option on the indicator where it'll automatically spot these imbalances for you and tell you if they are bullish or bearish in real time, so you don't have to do any of the work. Here's an example. Price shot up super fast right here, not giving the sellers enough time to counteract the movement, so naturally there's an imbalance. And the indicator senses this and draws a green rectangle for the bullish imbalance area. Price continues to head upwards, but naturally price will want to head back to this area for a retracement. So what you would do is wait for price to come back to this area, enter when it does, set your stop loss at the swing low, and set your take profit mark at the recent high. And look what happens, it was a winning trade. And you can see it retraced right exactly at the fair value gap. I think it's also very important to mention that you want to wait for price to get to the halfway mark of the fair value gap, as this will give you the best risk to reward ratio. And sure, you're going to miss out on some of the trades because sometimes they won't come all the way down to the halfway mark, but a lot of the time price will come to this halfway mark and bounce there. You can do the exact same thing for shorts, the imbalance will just be red. They can also be used as great take profit marks and stop losses, green ones being supports and red ones being resistances. You should also know that imbalances on higher time frames will be more accurate and hold a lot more weight than ones on lower time frames. This is a very simplified and basic tutorial on how to do this. You can get much more advanced with it, but you'd be surprised on how often this works in your favor. If you implement volume, trading patterns, divergences, price action, risk management, etc., this indicator performs extremely well. Hopefully I got across the point you shouldn't just simply blindly follow the buy and sell entries. You should be incorporating other trading techniques on top of the indicator to improve it that much more. But if you made it this far in the video, I'd simply just like to say thanks for watching all the way through, and as a token of my appreciation, here's a coupon code for the indicator. I'll just make it end of video. I know, real original, right? But seriously, thanks for watching all the way through. If you would like to check out the indicator, I'll leave a link in the description, or you can just go to tradinglab.ai to read more about it. Thanks for watching and happy trading.